You might think your portfolio is doing fine, but what if you're missing key insights that could boost your returns? Or worse, you're leaking money and you don't even know it. Snowball Analytics promises to fix that with powerful insights across all of your brokerage accounts. But is Snowball Analytics safe? Or are you trusting sensitive data to a risky system? Stick with me. I'll show you what surprised me with it and what you should watch out for when you're using this program and whether or not it's actually worth paying for. But before I even actually synced up any of my own brokerage accounts or ran a single report, I actually just went straight to what really matters, and that's what other users are actually saying about Snowball Analytics. Their experiences are really good information for what I might want to know. And I didn't just scan for the praise, I went looking for the rough stuff, the kind of Snowball Analytics reviews that will make you stop and think, like, hey, are you sure that's really there? Okay, so one review in particular stood out to me. One investor said that Snowball Analytics didn't seem to show the right share prices and that it threw everything out of whack for him. He claimed that he messaged support a few times but never heard back. That's a red flag, right? Well, here's what I found after digging a little bit further. So the Snowball team did actually respond to that issue a little bit later, and they explained that it seems to be a glitch coming from the service that links brokerage accounts via their API, and apparently that's already been fixed. So their response was, we have already fixed this problem, and now all data is correct. So now that could feel like a bit of a brush off, but I did notice something. That issue hasn't popped up in other recent reviews, so it might have just been an isolated case, but I did want to mention it. Plus, we are talking about tech that relies on third-party data feeds. These things do happen, and from what I've seen, the team was really quick to jump on it and respond. So beyond the complaints, of which I did not see many, the platform clearly delivers for a significant number of users, as I'll show here. So one reviewer said that he loved how everything, funds, brokerage accounts, asset classes, could be viewed all in one place. He called it a holistic look at his entire portfolio. I then came across another Snowball Analytics review that really hit home for me. So he mentioned trying other tools in the field, but he kept coming back to using Snowball. Why? Because it gave him details that other tools glossed over. He checks the app several times a day now, and yeah, he says it does cost a bit more than some competitors, but he says it's worth every penny for him. And honestly, I think I've had a similar experience to that. So I looked at a few more reviews, and then I jumped right into actually using the program. And after testing it for a few weeks, I realized that Snowball Analytics app isn't trying to be a trading platform. It's not Robinhood, where the focus is on executing trades or following trends. It's not even Empower, where investing is just one part of a larger budgeting ecosystem. Snowball Analytics is laser focused on just a single thing, and that's giving you crystal clear insights into your portfolio performance. And let me tell you, that focus really does show. The first thing that caught my attention was how they handle account security. So just like you, I was wondering, is Snowball Analytics safe? So I dug into their docs, and here's what stood out to me. They don't store your brokerage or crypto account credentials. Instead, they use Yodlee, which is a trusted third-party aggregator. Your credentials go directly from your browser to Yodlee, and Snowball never sees them. Plus, Yodlee provides actually this read-only connection, so that means that Snowball can only pull your data, and it can't do anything with it. It can't make trades or move your money, and it all goes through that third-party system, which is really widely used. So if you're concerned about what happens if Snowball's servers ever get breached, here's the deal. If anyone even hacked into their database, everything is depersonalized. They wouldn't be able to match any of it back to you. That already gave me some peace of mind, but let's talk about the stuff that actually helps you manage your investments, the tools, the actual things that you're going to be using. So one of the biggest value add-ons for me was the portfolio rebalancing tool. This isn't some basic pie chart that says, oh, you're 60% stocks, you're 40% bonds. Snowball lets you define target allocations and then shows you exactly which assets to buy or sell to bring your portfolio back in balance. I use this every time I top up my account, so it's like having a mini financial planner in your pocket. Then there are the portfolio metrics. I'm talking about PE ratios, beta coefficients, Sharpe and Sortino ratios, the real stuff that helps you understand risk versus reward. I loved that I could filter by asset or by category, and I could see how each piece of my portfolio was performing. It's not just raw data coming at you, it's insight that has been categorized and shows you a useful way to use it. Now, tracking cash is always a pain point for me, but Snowball makes cash tracking surprisingly easy. You can toggle between tracking just your current balance or logging every movement, like deposits and withdrawals. And if you've already got a history of cash transactions, you can import it to keep everything in sync. The data import was smoother than I expected. I connected my brokerage via Yodlee and everything just popped in. Positions, trades, history, and if your broker isn't supported yet, you can upload a CSV or contact support and get them to help. Like, I've actually really used some of them a couple times. They've always been receptive and helpful. It just, all this felt more flexible than other alternatives like Empower, and definitely gave more detail than anything that Robinhood will give you. But what really pulled me in was the Dividend Analytics tab. It shows you projected income, yield after tax, average growth, and even how much you might earn monthly. If you're big on dividend investing like I am, this is gold. I've used other tools before, and while they give you some dividend data, it's pretty surface level. Snowball goes deep and gives you everything that you need. And when it comes to organizing your holdings, they actually let you set up custom categories with target allocations. So I made one for high-risk growth stocks, another for dividend payers, and one for ETFs. Being able to see how those pieces lined up with my goals and how much money was in each of them and how I could reallocate, that was all super helpful. Also, there's the Portfolio Lab. This is where you can backtest strategies or just analyze your portfolio's risk-return balance. I ran a few simulations using their calculator tool and got some pretty solid insight into how well diversified I really was. Backtesting even let me see how my portfolio would have performed against the S&P 500, like comparing them side to side. Again, not something you'll get from other Snowball Analytics competitors like Robinhood. And I might brag, but I beat the S&P 500. But overall, Snowball Analytics doesn't just track your money, it helps you make smarter decisions with it. And while it's not a full-blown financial planning app like Empower, it goes way deeper when it comes to portfolio analysis. But okay, is it perfect? Well, no, not quite. Besides for not having some of those features I wanted, if I really had to nitpick, I'd say that the early learning curve is a bit steeper than more beginner-focused platforms. I mean, if you're brand new to investing and you don't know what a Sharpe ratio is, the dashboard might feel like a lot. But honestly, that's kind of the point. Snowball Analytics is for investors who care about performance. And once you get the hang of it, it's actually pretty intuitive. Everything's laid out logically, and the support documentation helps fill in any of the gaps. And if you want something and that isn't there, you can just ask their support. So while it's not quite plug and play, it really is close. And from what I've seen, it isn't like the cheapest tool out there. So like if you're a casual investor or you're just checking your holdings every few weeks, you might find it a bit more than you'd want to pay. But if you're actively tracking multiple accounts and you do want that single dashboard with real analytics, totally worth it. So is Snowball Analytics safe enough to justify the price? Well, for me, yeah, especially with how transparent they are about data security, how communicative they are, and how powerful the tools actually are. They do also run promotions and discounts, so be sure to check the link in the description for their current pricing plan and any available discount that they're offering now. We keep that updated so you don't miss out. So if you're serious about optimizing your investments, not just tracking them, Snowball Analytics is absolutely worth a look. It's secure, it's smart, and it gives you the kind of clarity that most platforms gloss over. Check the link in the description to get started with our special discount and coupon.